Had the experience of playing here a couple times last year for Purdue. Anderson is one of the leaders that can relay that experience to a very new-looking team that goes into Big Ten play compared to last year. Here we go, Washington and Purdue, starting the Big Ten schedule on this Thursday night from Mackey Arena. This is Zoria Hurd, the libero, out to Alexa Markley, the Penn State transfer for Washington. And a little tip shot is picked up from Wollard by Hurd. Right back to Markley, that's Doug. Opening rally of the night, a long one. And Akasha Anderson out, and a point to Washington to begin it. Alexa Markley on that right side has been one of the top hitters for Washington.
She's hitting .316 right now. Coach said he feels like she's hitting more like .360. She's been really impressive for them, but I'd also love to see their middles get in on the action here tonight.
Right back out to the right pin for Washington. They put up a big block with Wessels out of the middle. That buzzes the tape. Hurd comes flying in, but can't connect.
Dave Shondell's on a mission to build volleyball up, and he's doing exactly that at Purdue. I was definitely surprised, but this is a Boilermaker team that's not messing around.
Well, another short serve, and the pass was actually off target. Every year but one, they've been in the tournament since 2001, which is when Leslie Gabriel started. Well, this is their freshman outside, Mateska. Serbian outside, and Wollard is shut down.
Makes it really hard to find a seam.
A lot better as a blocker than when you were in the league for Markley?
Definitely, Markley's gotten better since I was teammates with her back in the day. Year by year.
Man, she can do that too. She showed that when she was at Penn State, a bullseye to the back. Across the way here, a few steps from where we're at tonight, and had a double-digit kill night as a freshman at Penn State a few years ago. Mateska with the tap. Anderson gets offensive at setter and puts it away.
I love an offensive setter, I have to admit.
First time in her career that Anderson has gone over a kill per set. And back to the middle with Wessels middle for Washington this year. A good early rip at it and her first kill. Out to the slide for Dior Charles, newcomer in the middle for Purdue.
When you run the slide all the way to the pin, it gives you less open options, where if you keep it inside like that, it gives you more room to swing on different shots.
Heaney on the right side, dug by Hurd. Mateska rattles it. It took Anderson out of the offense at setter for the Boilermakers. Howry back to the right for Markley. Heaney is dug by Barton. And Mateska goes line.
Take some off speed, roll some shots, and tip a lot of balls.
You can definitely see the international side of Mateska's game coming from Serbia.
They move Grace Heaney around quite a bit.
Playing the best she has in her career at Purdue. Overhead for McAleer, the Purdue libero, and it sets up another back row attack.
So they might not run as many middle attacks in the middle, but they use the back row attack as that middle of the court establishment.
Howry going back row for back row, but that's out for Barton.
After review, the original call is overturned. Point, Washington.
It is back to serve for the Dogs. McAleer, the libero, off the bump set to Cash Anderson, who plays tight to the net on the sharp shot. And dig to kill for Barton. Back to back for Washington for their outside.
Hard move to make in transition and get a full approach there. She's their heavy arm right now, so it's cool to see a player able to do so many different things.
And Mateska steps in and takes that pass, and a big block set up. Howry scrambling to keep it off the floor with Markley. Tight to the net, and didn't matter for Anderson, and Anderson. Taylor to Cash.
Anderson to Anderson, I love that. Didn't matter at all. I think Taylor Anderson gets the props there, jumping up and trying to save that ball. That pass was really tight. They're aiming for that perfect ball, but it was almost over the net. Taylor Anderson did a great job shoving her hands over there and making it work.
Well, Barton unloads. 3 kills in quick order for Barton. Well, she's the experienced pin hitter that Washington brings into the Big Ten. There are 3 big hitters.
I think Washington's really doing a good job getting everybody their flowers at the right times, too.
Heaney puts it away again. Automatic, target the middle.
Always.
Yeah.
There's a middle back there. Be ready to tip on her. Be ready to hit it to her every single time.
Oh, Barton putting on an early show. 5 kills.
She's going to hit the ball just about every single time. Matuska's going to find some shots to make, but Barton's going to go down swinging.
Barton 5 kills. The rest of Washington's team 3 kills. And Cash Anderson.
And he told her that ain't going to cut it for us. You're going to need to find some new shots, and she's really found her way with that tip right there, that power tip.
I love the folksy way that he kind of put it to her. That ain't gonna cut it here. Kills in that match. So they know scouting her well. There's Markley. She can hit on both pins, left and right. This year for Washington as well, Matesko is out early in the season. To full health now, including Taylor Simpson, their setter, who's been in competition with Howry. Howry set up, goes to the right. And point for Washington inside Charles.
He's going to be more pressed over and be able to get a solid block on Markley like that. See Washington keep a few more of those in.
It's a 4th service error for Washington already. So some free points for Purdue. Out to a 1-point lead. Markley tip. McAleer with the easy pickup. And Charles, Ava Jo Berry, first Big Ten match for the freshman. Short serve. And the net's moving. And Purdue is in the net. So Washington up by 1 to our first timeout.
Experience playing top opponents. They know what it takes. They might not have fallen all the way through with what it takes, but they know what they need to do.
Into the net, out of the timeout, halfway across the country and back. We're home for about 48 hours. Ava Jo Berry for Washington in the engineering program. And into the net. That's usually a trend you see, I don't know, like the 3rd or 4th set. Had 15 ties already at 16-16. Barton lets another one rip. Serving middle, Julia Hunt for Washington. And an ace.
They're not completely doing that. They're just missing a lot right now.
And that
an ace between the outside hitters, and then switched it and served the libero down the line.
a big start for Barton. She has 6 kills on 8 swings after that one was dug out. Mateska short, Heaney lunges forward to get it. McAleer with the dig for Purdue. Heaney in the backcourt. Got 2 options back there with her and Wollard for Purdue. Anderson line. Berry kept it up. And Wessels couldn't. And Purdue ties it at 18. How many times did you hear coaches say that? Control the controllables.
Way too many. It's burned into my brain.
Barton recycles it into the block. Lulich in the middle for Purdue. No Lindsay Miller again tonight. She was out last week. Out again to start Big Ten play. Wollard, a whistler for the back row.
We'll see if she can maintain and keep going with that.
Yeah, you'd take like half of that number over the course of a match.
Just tooling it right off the edge.
2 first set kills for Wessels out of the middle for Washington. She had the hands the first time on the block of Anderson, but a little late arriving this time as Anderson crushes one.
Kind of. It's a blessing and a curse sometimes. Sometimes it becomes a trend that people can pick up on then.
We're back to the same side of the court. Different hitter this time with Wollard for Anderson. This is Markley. Well, there you go. There was the repeat again, but Purdue was ready for it.
On the outside, that might have been one you do reverse.
5 of the last 6 points to Purdue. Be one thing to do it and have nobody show up, but lower bowl is completely full tonight. Bunch of people in the upper bowl too. That's tapped out.
Focusing a ton on Barton in the back row because she is killing the ball at such a high rate. They're gonna get her the ball to try and make up some points here.
Well, she put in a good serve to put Purdue out of system. And they recovered and get it back to their top hitter, Wollard, who's blocked. Well, Markley gets a piece of it.
Small gymnasium. It doesn't hold a ton of fans, and in a 10,000 plus arena, you can allow more people to get to volleyball games. And
Purdue ices the serve and now lead out of their timeout. At 23-21. And that's blocked. Charles puts up a big one with Wollard. Joust at the net. And down it goes for Purdue to bring up set point. So it's the West Lafayette native, Rachel Williams, at the service line on set point for Purdue. Anderson goes long, strained, and the set. Their top attacker in crunch time, Kenna Wollard, delivers the set 1 win.
I'd like to see a little bit more out of Kenna Wollard here. For Purdue to win, they're going to need Kenna Wollard to do everything she can. I mean, I know she can't be on every single night, and she's done that pretty much this far this season, but I'd love to see a few more productive kills from her.
Yes.
But Washington scouted that, and they were ready, and they've shown it this far.
Well, they talked a lot about that since Saturday when they played Kentucky. And off the tape and back Purdue's way and 2-0 Washington.
They studied up, they were ready. It's clear it's paid off because this passing group is doing a good job.
Washington's best all-around player in Barton, and back-to-back aces to the same zone. So from Lexington back home and right back into this part of the country for the Huskies this week, starting Big Ten play. And Wollard is turned back. Wessels and Markley team up for a 5-0 Washington run.
To expect it. Wessels moved over and was ready for that block.
A little different serve for Barton, and finally for Purdue, they get out of that rotation. It was Lindsay Miller and Dior Charles in the middle. The third straight match that Lindsay Miller not available for Purdue.
She was going to take anything in front of Kenna Wollard to let Kenna go and just hit that ball. She had one responsibility, and it was hit.
Well, Mateska hammers one line for Washington. A long stretch set from their first-year full-time setter in Howry. Misconnect on the middle with Charles.
Taylor Anderson looks like she wants the long route, though.
The overpass sets up Howry in the Washington offense. Mateska dug, McAleer, but over the net and eventually put away.
Work her into the offense a little bit more. She's got a killer slide, and she can kill some crazy cross-court balls. Like to see what she can do here.
Well, she's been Washington's most efficient hitter the last couple years. Hit .330 last year. And Markley having a good Big Ten debut.
High inside and pretty tight to the net, so the hitters can go and be aggressive.
Well, there's the offensive mindset for Anderson on 2. No chance to run the offense for Washington. And Barton plants it inside the line. Keep feeding her.
Line. And I mean, Barton's scoring everywhere right now.
And Kenna Wollard put some oomph on that one for the kill. And she has been well scouted by the entire league after back-to-back 20-kill matches in non-conference for Wollard. And that's punched. Kind of free ball-ish the way she attacked that ball. And Howry steers it out.
So it's not a surprise that that's what's going on here.
Markley, yeah, there's another one for Markley.
Those cliches, we could go on for days.
Coach speak for a reason. There's Wollard on the tip. I was going to ask you to name names, but maybe set 3. And Washington keeps on rolling, back up by 7 in this second set.
The momentum right now. We'll see if they can hold on to it.
And Barton up to a match-high 8 kills for the Washington Huskies. Now to the opposite, Heaney, and there was a touch there. He had a pretty good lefty opposite here for a while that's now won 2 medals with Team USA and Annie Drews. And we were making the comparison.
I do not want to play defense against her. I don't want to play against Heaney either, but
no, right?
Different reasons.
Well, put back down, Washington. Sienna Foster staying back there for Purdue, and they got her off.
And the Markley kill, though.
And Mateska serves Wollard. And it's Anderson up front. A long set Barton. That's been a good option tonight and all season. Heaney cross court.
It's her body like it does on a right-handed hitter.
That was short for McAleer, but that was more Annie Drews. Was adamant. We're not putting any any type of pressure of red-shirted last year, was part of the opposite rotation 2 years ago. Back set. Wessels has been involved early, but this one's long.
She's planting too tight to the net, so the ball's behind her. All she has to do is go out with that.
That's Barton to the backcourt one more time.
To attack is impressive.
We mentioned it before, her passing has been excellent all year. One coming in hot from Wollard, and the dump goes. We've seen a bump kill, we've seen a pass kill. A little bit of everything to open up Big Ten, and a good block for Purdue, back within 2.
That's a big thing that makes Taylor Anderson such a good setter, is that she's big in the front row. She's a big blocking presence up there. She's got her hands over, and she's gonna get some good touches on that, and even a couple stuffs.
Something Dave Shondell identified early in her time starting as Purdue setter 2 years ago. Wollard finds the court right in front of the libero Hurd. And the Boilers have stormed back within 1 after Washington went up 10-3. Purdue this year has not scored as much at the service line as we're used to, under a service ace per set. But with their short serve, a lot of times they've gotten teams out of system, which leads to points, and they tie it up.
Situations for Washington, which is allowing them to control the game.
Well, they keep their best server, Kane, back there, and Barton, all the shots, the production, all the skills with the passing and the digging and the blocking. Terrific outside 6 rotation player for Washington, who have responded with 2 in a row with Wessels and Barton.
Made in that angle.
It's Lulich, dug by Howry. Markley tip, Anderson on it. And Howry again takes the first ball. So the setter not in the offense, 2 straight on this rally. And that's out. They open Big Ten play at Northwestern. And Steve Aird and his team have had a real good non-conference. And we'll see Washington this weekend.
I agree.
Timeouts taken leading to that team then scoring. And Markley, smart shot. And then Markley right over the top of the back row defender. Oh, Wollard.
Kenna Wollard was open, had nothing in front of her, and was able to sneak that ball deep corner.
And Markley tipped into the block this time, and Wollard stood up.
You got to stay out of the net, too.
And Heaney with the elbow clearly. Oh, big block put up, Hunt. Turned back for Kane to run it down, and it sets up Wollard.
Paid off for them this time, but in the future, I'd like to see him try something new.
Overpass, Washington survives it on the dig for Barton. Another pass off target. Net's moving again. This time Washington is into the net.
Tight, and they're going a little bit too tight. I would talk that over and pull it off a little bit.
Well, Howry way off the net this time and really had no choice, right? Instead, a kill for Markley to put Washington in front by 2. Into the red zone, and Anderson destroys one.
Strongest blocker on the Washington side, so I would love to see Purdue overload Akasha Anderson.
Well, she goes to the middle. Julia Hunt, who you were calling for more sets for, puts it down.
I can't say this positively, but Julia Hunt just about every single time before she heads to the back row gets at least 1 ball. It's usually that rotation before she heads to the back row. There's a definite trend in there. She's getting the last ball before she heads back. Like to see her get some early, right when she steps on the court.
Howry long out to the pin, and Lulich with Heaney deny it for the Boilermakers.
That's a solid block up there. Their hands were pressed over, nowhere really to go. The outside hitter needs to really wipe that ball off. The set was quite tight. She came in with an open hand, not ready to go anywhere with it, but into the block.
Service pressure, Howry left her feet to save it. Then she scrambles to get back in the play. Anderson right over the top of where the center had just dove out of the way.
I mean, I watched Nebraska and Michigan last night, and it really shows when you have Big Ten matchups.
Well, like Barton, but Purdue is ready to block. Purdue in front by 1.
Taylor Anderson getting all the love on that one. Her teammate celebrating her big block there. That block almost pushed her backwards on that. That's a lot of heat coming. Good on Taylor Anderson for keeping her hands pressed and not letting them get behind her.
Anderson's block gives him the first lead of this set, and Barton gets quick revenge to tie it up.
Fantastic shot by Barton. I like the sharp shot for her. I would have loved to see McAleer finish her move. She pulled her hands last second. I think she second-guessed herself, thinking that that ball might have been out of bounds. I'd love to see her finish that move to her left, and she'd have that dig.
It's a Mimi Collier-like number for Barton. 5 kills per set to open up Big Ten play. She has 10. And still not done in set 2. Here's another swing for her. And almost an 11th. That's 4 contacts. So that's an 11th kill for Barton, and it brings up set point for Washington.
Barton's trying to rally her team and keep them being the aggressors. She wants to keep them on the offense and is mixing up shots to put Washington in really good positions right now.
Anderson for Anderson to keep this set alive.
Cash Anderson with a little bit off on that one. Again, like Coach Shondell said early, she was making too many errors. She needed to find new shots, do different things. Taylor Anderson left that ball high and inside, and Cash Anderson got her feet there and just decided to chop it high down the line. Really smart shot.
And now Purdue gets Kane, a dangerous server back there. It's Markley with a bullseye. My goodness, painting it right inside the white.
A bomb to the deep corner. The thing that I loved most about that swing was that she got her feet there. That's an out-of-system ball. She waited on it and got her feet all the way inside the court, so that ball was still at her highest contact point.
How about who said it, too?
Barton, she can do it all.
Wollard off the hands and out. Well, Markley got a big piece of it, but Purdue answers set point for a second time.
Kenna Wollard came in at that angle and kind of went into the meat of that block. She might have gotten a little bit lucky on a good hand bounce there. Sometimes you get those.
Back set, Markley. And it zigzags through the backcourt. That's Lulich, a middle back there defending. And Markley, her direction, going at the middle to bring up set point again.
Markley loves those deep corners, and if there's a middle in there, I've got to think that Markley knows that there's a middle and middle back, and she's aiming for her.
Purdue has denied 2 set points. Washington on a third with Hurd serving and put in a good dipping serve. Wollard, tap, pancake, twisted over by Hunt. So Purdue reloads it. Right back to Wollard. 3 in a row that they've staved off.
Consistency. Kenna Wollard is clutch in moments when Purdue needs her most. She started off this match a little bit rocky, but she's come back into it, and at the end of sets right now, she's getting kills for Purdue when they need her.
And Mateska the pass. And reloaded with Hurd on the set for Mateska. And it rattles down through Heaney. So here's Washington on a 4th set point at 27-26.
Washington's mixed up who they're getting the ball to quite a bit. It was Markley at the end here pretty early, but now they're looking more outside centered. I'd expect to see a Barton in the back row attack here soon from them if the ball comes back.
Service from Barry. Heaney drops the hammer.
There was that rotation again where they stack the attackers on the outside of the court. Everyone is over here on the outside. Grace Heaney's gotten the ball every single time. If I'm Washington, that's a big miss there because they should know that Grace Heaney is getting that ball high in the middle of the court.
27 all. Hunt slide, blocked. Anderson and Charles. Set point Purdue.
With some attitude to be included. I love that. Hands pressed over right in their face. A slide is a hard ball to block. Anderson did a great job keeping her hands in the zone early.
Down 10-3, Purdue. 4 set points on the other side of the net for Washington. Purdue 1 point away from stealing one in this second set. Backcourt Markley. That's out! A Boiler comeback from down 7. Lauren Bertolacci, the new head coach of the Indy Ignite, is with us. A part of that tour, I saw you went to a Fever game.
I did.
How was that?
Amazing. Honestly, I'm a big WNBA fan, so it was a dream to know that I'm right near the Indiana Fever and getting to go to see how women's sport is celebrated. I think it just helps us all.
Well, there it is.
There it is.
We got the video, the picture evidence, too.
Amazing.
Did you get to spend any time with the players or staff?
Oh, we were right next to them, so we were listening to them trash talking on the bench. It was amazing. We had the best seats. Yeah.
What'd you pick up from Stephanie White?
Oh, yeah, I don't think I can repeat it. No.
Picked up on some trash talking.
Yeah.
You were a setter. I feel like setters have a little edge to them. Maybe I'm biased. I'm also a setter.
You should be biased.
But like you pick up some trash talking things. You got some new repertoire in your back pocket from the WNBA players.
Yeah, they are going at it all the time. So honestly, I'm just excited to see the passion they have for the city and everything. Yeah.
It's fun to see it for the sports all across the board. I mean, it's fun to see women's sports so successful, and you guys at the Indy Ignite are definitely pushing that forward.
Yeah, I think the organization's doing a great job of really trying to engage the community and grow women's sports, and especially volleyball. Absolutely.
Have you started preparing for Atlanta yet?
Yeah,
I've
got a scouting sheet actually. I'm trying not to give away too much information right now. You know, it's a short season. I gotta be ready. So yeah.
We'll only see each other probably 4 times.
Yeah, we do 4 times. Yeah.
But Indy Ignite is one of the most fun arenas to play in. They pack that arena. Last year we had a heated match in there, and it's fun to play because the fans really buy in. It's cool to see.
Oh, I think I've said it already 3 times here. The volleyball community in Indiana is huge, and I've already felt in the 2 weeks of being here how behind us they are, and I'm very excited to step in the arena.
Well, you're about to coach some Big Ten players, including Blake Moeller, who played here at Purdue, Mia Tuniga from USC.
Absolutely.
Cam Hanna, who was at Penn State. What have you learned about some of your new players that are Big Ten alums?
Yeah, you know, actually, a funny story about Blake, the Purdue alum. We played against each other. I was coaching in Switzerland, and she handed me my first loss that season. So I think we're ready to work together finally and go. But I mean, these girls are all super talented, and they're bringing a great depth of experience and some really exciting players.
That is fun. It's fun to see Big Ten players kind of make that step. Do you think Big Ten volleyball, being the gauntlet that it is, and it's tough matches night after night, prepares players for the next level?
Yeah, they walk straight into it. I think you've been involved in the league before. MLB is not too much different. It's day in, day out, huge competition. So to just have that mentality walking straight into the gym is very, very helpful, especially with the short preparation that these girls do get straight out of college.
Well, we're excited for you. We hope people throughout this state and maybe throughout the country are following you guys throughout the year, and I can't wait for you to get started.
Thank you. I really appreciate you having me on.
Lauren Bertolacci, the new head coach of the Indy Ignite, joining us here courtside at Mackey. Not giving away the scouting secrets on you, Mac.
I'll see you in Atlanta and in Fishers Arena twice in each spot.
Into the net. And Purdue and Washington in this third set with Purdue up 2-0, 4-2 Purdue. And I'm sure some fans in this area saw the Indy Ignite go to the final in the PVF. It's now rebranded as Major League Volleyball. So change heading into the season that starts in January.
I definitely saw the Indy Ignite go to the finals.
Yes, you did. Heaney into the block, and Mateska puts up a brick wall to get Washington back within 1.
Solid block there. You've got to press your hands. You've got to be prepared. There was enough time there that the blockers could both get their hands over. Hunt and Mateska both had their hands pressed. That was a tough swing for Grace Heaney to do anything with.
Heaney back in the middle of the net. She's had a bunch of success there tonight as Washington can't keep it up on the scramble.
Washington really needs to hone in on that play. It's the same rotation. It happens every single time in rotation 1. Purdue is stacked on the other side of the court. Washington needs to call that out, talk about it, because Grace Heaney's gotten a kill almost every single time that she's hit that ball in the middle of the court.
A bunch of her 8 kills have come out of that spot. Anderson right back to Heaney. Hurd comes flying up at libero. Well, they were ready for a joust, and it landed right in front of Charles.
That's a lot of eye work on the block there, but how about this Hurd dig? That's a fantastic tip up and over by Heaney, and Hurd said, I think not. Ran right in there and picked that ball up. That's a fantastic scoop and a really hard move to make.
That was kind of like Dave Shondel's line earlier of, that ain't gonna work here.
I think not.
I think not. Oh, big block. Julia Hunt says, I think not.
I fear that's gonna come up quite a bit now tonight. Fantastic block move from Julia Hunt. She dives into this seam here. She sees where the attacker is going. Kenna Wollard is heading towards right back there, and Hunt dives into that seam to save her defender.
We won't wear that one out too bad. Maybe only 3 or 4 more times. That is in for Barton. Her massive night in her first Big Ten match extends to a 14-kill match.
Wow, Barton is putting up numbers here. She's really just finding ways to score. It's not necessarily the same shot every single time. I love that she's mixing in tips, and that tool down the line off the block was a great add-in.
Her and Markley have carried Washington, who's coming with them. Heaney has established some balance for Purdue.
Heaney's got a whip of an arm. You can't give up one single thing to Heaney. You can't let her have the line, and you can't just let her have the angle. You've got to use your eyes and make big moves as a blocker. She's going to take the upper hand on that more times than not.
9 kills for her and Anderson for the Boilermakers, right behind Wollard's 12. Well, Markley, one of the few she's misfired on tonight. Purdue back up 1.
That set's looking a little bit flatter and faster when it comes from further across the court. So when she has more time, when she's further away from her setter, she needs more time. I'd like to see I'd like to see Howery give her more time.
Howery, the one-hand set for Hunt, who teed off on it. Goodness.
Hunt absolutely burying that ball. Howery played that up with one hand. All she got on it was a couple fingers. Drew the Purdue block into the net as well, but Hunt bouncing that ball.
How hard is that to do, what Howery just did?
It's difficult to control the ball with 2 hands. Imagine how much harder it is with 1 hand and the ball that's shooting in the wrong direction. You've got to stop the trajectory of the ball and control it and put it in a spot where your attacker can hit. Major props to the middle blocker, though, for not stopping. A lot of times attackers almost give up when they see their setter trying to make a save move. You got to keep going on the same route path.
Almost like we've got this point 1, nothing left to do, and that danced on the tape and went down. Grace Heaney scoring from all over the court, this one at the service line.
Sometimes you get a little lucky with the net clip and it just falls right where you want it to. Dab on the court. Ace dab.
There's like a dab with a bow at the end of it too.
Whatever works. Dave Shondel said this team is goofy and they like to have some fun.
That was a good omen, that sign. Grace brings the ace. Will it be plural? Will not. Washington keeps it up, and Barton sends that to the 10th row.
Barton's got some heat behind her hand right now. Kind of always. She's got a heavy arm. She's coming down swinging. I'd like to see McAleer make those digs, though. She's in the right spot. She's capable of it. I've seen her do it before. Keep this defensive game going a little bit longer. That's what Purdue's known for.
They're gritty backcourt players. Purdue has made a living on that. And Anderson with another smart one. She's got you pointing to your head again.
She's so smart in making really high IQ swing shot selections. The player that I have seen her be is one that hits balls really hard, and she can tool a lot of blocks just powering through them. But she learned that in the Big Ten, you've got a big block in front of her. You can't always just hit the ball heavy. You got to mix in some shots, and she's doing a fantastic job doing that.
The transfer from Michigan State, and this is Wollard. Buries one to the back row. Purdue by 3.
Wollard with a fabulous high hand swing into the deep corner. Again, you don't set up a defense to defend that ball in the deep corner. You've got your wing defenders are sharp, and your middle back maybe takes a step one direction or the other, but that deep corner is hard to defend.
Markley into the block. The setter, Anderson, showing her ability as a blocker one more time.
This has truly been a problem rotation for Washington. They get stuck up in rotation 1 here with Markley on the outside and Barton on the right side. I would expect them to go to Barton here on the right side.
A bump set for Markley, and it's down to get him out of that rotation. They badly needed it.
They're almost better to Markley out of system on the outside right now. Markley's hitting really well with a high ball inside, and she's getting her feet to the ball and aiming for those deep corners and going after it.
Barton into the net. Why is that? That seems a little backwards, that you would be more comfortable out of system as a hitter.
I think Markley likes time. She wants to be patient and wait and go attack. She's got a whip of an arm, and it comes from behind her a little bit. So when she's rushed, her arm behind her doesn't quite get forward as fast as she wants it to. So when that ball's higher and she has more time, as long as her feet are there, she can be really successful.
Overpass kill for Charles.
More control from the service line for Purdue right now.
Rachel Williams stays back there with Purdue up 5. Oh, a deep serve that grazed the arm of the passer, Mateska, for the ace. For Keegan Cook before that. And here in part 1 of the doubleheader, Purdue came back in set 2 and have built now a 5-point lead in set 3.
Purdue's got the momentum from behind the line. They're really controlling as much of the game as they can. I'd like to see them stay back there for longer and try not to miss, because that's where their momentum's coming from right now.
Wollard into the double block. Hunt slid over from the middle. And Mateska. Wollard a little bit further inside than that last swing. And a third swing on this point. And it's out.
Kenna Wollard trying to do a little bit too much there on that ball. She loves to swing down the line, but it might not have been right there on that swing. She might not have had the full line like she wanted. Her feet might not have been there either. She did too much. By that I mean she went cross body and she turned her whole body. Her arm and her body did line work there.
Well, one of the few errors she's had since the opening set. And Washington with 3 in a row out of the timeout. Man, Markley and Barton have been awesome tonight. 15 and 16 kills apiece.
Wow. I liked that swing from Markley because she didn't have a ton of heat on it. All she did was reach really high and snap really high. And that ball spun down and dropped in front of the defense, making it hard for them to pick it up.
Anderson for Charles.
That inside route for Dior Charles is money. I think Anderson could run that again and again and again. Dior Charles isn't super effective on the full slide where she goes all the way back, but when she stops and does that halfway, midway slide, whatever we want to call it, she's so successful because she's got so many more angles available to her.
We haven't seen a ton out of the middle tonight from Purdue. And point Washington back within 3, but that was one of your questions coming into the night, right? Is Wollard and Heaney will have their points. Who else is coming with them?
So far, I'd like Takasha Anderson mixing in those shots, finding ways to score. I'd love to see the middles keep getting involved in the offense here.
There's Wollard, dug by Hurd. And Mateska pumped it off the block, but Kane puts hands up. And Hurd made the right read on it. Wanted it overhead, let it fly. Washington within 2. Somebody's getting out of here tonight 1-0 in the Big Ten. And Markley into the net. In fact, that was a big story in the first set. 8 service errors for Washington. That was only their 3rd since. They had really cleaned it up.
They've really cleaned it up. And I like what Markley did there. After that serve, she came back into the huddle and said, I got the next one. She didn't say my bad. We all knew it was her bad. She said, I got the next one and moved on.
There's Hunt working across the body to the backcourt.
That's a good angle from Hunt, turning that ball. She was facing the left back side and then completely turned that ball over her head, over her left shoulder, and hit into the right back corner. It's hard to read as a middle blocker. You want to take what you see, and what she was showing was left back.
I was gonna say, kind of blindly, right? You couldn't see that part of the court.
A little reach into the cookie jar.
Oh. Anderson, big night, denied by Hurd. Zoria Hurd, beautiful work on the dig, and punched out by Charles. And their first-year starter at libero, Hurd, has had a bunch of big-time effort plays in this match.
Fantastic read and move there by Hurd. I mean, Kasha Anderson is coming in so hard. And the thing about Washington's defense right now is they've got their off blocker pushing up and under, so Hurd's got a lot of space to cover back there.
Washington right back to level with Monteska's ace.
Wow, this game is so back and forth. There's not a team that's taking the control consistently. It's so up and down, a very serious roller coaster, which is not uncommon from either of these teams.
Purdue led it by 6. Washington gets right back to even, but Akasha Anderson says we'll take that right back.
Doing what Cash Anderson does best, what Cash Anderson likes to do best too, hit a heavy ball. I mean, we know she can do it, and there it was. She's had a lot of off speeds, a lot of options, but over top of that setter, she's got so much room to swing.
That's the vintage Cash Anderson. What we saw a lot of at Michigan State. Adding more tricks to her bag this year as an attacker. See if she goes to the bag here. Nope, straight heat and out. So she has been that third attacker that have come with both Heaney and Wollard tonight for Purdue.
She's really stepped up here. I'd like to see her offense coming out. She's passing well, she's setting well out of system, and she's getting involved a ton.
So more kills than her last 2 matches combined, with her 12 in this one. And pushing past the block, Anderson has another.
Looks like she might not have found those hands there.
Timeout for Purdue.
But the on-campus community within the athletics as well.
No doubt. And not just one of these matches, but 3. One more this weekend on Big Ten Network when Illinois is here on Sunday. And then Thanksgiving weekend, Indiana comes to town to play in Mackey Arena. And Purdue out of the timeout again. I think Dave Shondell's perfect tonight when he calls timeouts in his team scoring.
I think he might be, and I think he talks about how the communication needed to be higher. The communication there between Wollard and Cash Anderson was 10 out of 10. They talked about that first ball and serve receive. That's a seam that you want to serve as an opponent between 2 outside hitters that might not be the strongest passers. But Kenna Wollard took that ball in the seam, led it into a perfect pass, and allowed Cash Anderson to go get it.
Well, Barton had the pass, gave Markley a chance to swing. Both of the outsides, well, an outside and an opposite, showing what they can do there.
Cash Anderson's block right there was a little bit early. She was on her way down when Markley was attacking the ball. It's tough to defend a back row attack. Your timing has to be a little bit different. So as a blocker, she's got to wait a half a second longer.
She's back on the attack where she's been so comfortable all night. On fire right now, Cash Anderson.
And not just comfortable, super uncomfortable, making it look really comfortable. Like, it's impressive what she's doing with these balls that aren't necessarily perfect. She's falling off of a couple of them. They've been a little bit too wide sometimes, but she's making not perfect balls look like great opportunities for her.
She's now the leading attacker for Purdue, and they take the lead with Wollard, who ties her right back up with her 14th kill.
Washington's pass right now is trying to be a little bit too perfect. They're aiming for a spot on the court. They need to aim a little bit higher, a little bit further off.
And Julia Kane was back at the line when Purdue clinched set 2. Washington would like to get her off the line, but Lulich not obeying that order. It's Kane still serving for Purdue. Barton on the first ball, pass to attack. Kane kept it up. Out of system, Heaney. Coverage for Barton. And riding with Barton late in this set, but out. Purdue 2 points away from a 1-0 Big Ten start. Washington got to keep that earlier challenge, so they still had 2. Now 1 left after the in-out call goes against them. Markley jabs down the line to stop the Purdue run.
Good push by Markley up and over that block, just right behind the defender who charged in. As soon as you see a tip hand, it's your automatic instinct to run forward. You got to stay calm on defense and be able to go both directions.
Washington in a raucous road environment trying to avoid a sweep here at Mackey Arena. Over the top, and match points coming. Kenna Wollard with her 15th kill of the night.
Smart put up and over the block from Kenna Wollard, causing chaos. Again, Washington brings their off blocker all the way up and under the block to pick up those tips. It creates a lot of vulnerabilities in the court, but that's a ball that the off blocker must pick up if she's going to be that far under there.
The students pick up their keys, their beverage of choice. Some are picking up their shoe. Whatever you got, that's the sign that it's match point.
You know, as a player here, I don't think the keys were just background noise, but listening to it as a spectator, it's kind of cool.
What about the aluminum cans that they're holding?
All of that too.
Match point 1. And off the block, tool shot kill for Markley. At least 1 more for the road and her return to West Lafayette.
A lot of Alexa Markley coming up here. Washington gets the opportunity to get the ball back here. They're going to go to Alexa Markley, who's going to hit a heavy ball. She's going to swing hard.
Match high 19 kills for the former Nittany Lion, Markley. On match point, Wollard puts it away. Purdue wins in Mackey to open up Big Ten play.
What a great swing from Kenna Wollard to end this match here. Fantastic showing from both Kenna Wollard and Grace Heaney and Akasha Anderson. Really impressed with Cash Anderson's ability to mix in some shots and do some different things. Fun volleyball played here in Mackey tonight.
I wanted to ask you about Cash Anderson first. 14 kills, 393, her hitting percentage tonight. What were you most proud of with how she played?
She's been getting better every day, Connor, after that off-season surgery she had last spring. And we knew she had the ability to be a stabilizer for us. And without her tonight, we lose this in 3. We don't win it in 3, we lose it in 3. So I thought her overall game was good. She brings a dose of experience that this group doesn't have. She also brings a lot of toughness and competitiveness, which we really need.